Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Jay Speak. This week we answer some questions. First question, how do I feel about Eminence speakers? Honestly, I don't think I've ever used an Eminence speaker. Really can't think of one. I've used a lot of Celestion, Mesa, and like EVH. They all have like, Orange had like variants of a Celestion, or they were like specially made by Celestion, or they tinkered with their own speaker. I've played those. I've also played Jensen speakers, mainly more in the Fender stuff, and then also the California Tweed by Mesa has a Jensen, I think it's a Blackbird speaker. And those are really cool. I haven't tried Eminence speakers. I think the bigger one that people compare, like a Celestion V30, is the Governor. I haven't tried it. I've been curious. Maybe that's something we do later. Maybe that's, I'll get a bunch of Eminence speakers and compare them to like the Creambacks and the V30s and other stuff I got lying around, because I enjoy messing with speakers. I think they're definitely a big speaker brand, and it's just not something I've gotten into yet. So who knows? It feels like another rabbit hole that I could easily fall down and hit my head along the way quite a few times. And knowing that I really like some of the Jensen speakers, it would be interesting to try like a couple of the Alnicos against the Alnico Cream by Celestion. I think that would be fun too. Question 2, do I use any modeling software such as the Amplitude stuff? Not typically. I might demo with it. Some of it sounds okay. I think the issue becomes if you take a real amplifier and you mic up the cab, you compare that against an IR, using 2 notes or SIR or whatever you're using. Then you also compare some modeling stuff to that amplifier versus using an actual rig or an amp into an IR. I think you can hear differences. It would be interesting to use someone else's gear, play through a bunch of stuff, and see if I could pick them out. I really don't use any of the modeling software unless I want to get a quick riff down, just so I'll remember it. That's probably the only time I do it. I think at some point I did compare for myself, not on the channel, took some modeling software, compared it against like my Rock Reverb or, you know, my Dual Rec or something like that, and just heard how they sound. Now, there has been a lot of progress. I haven't tried any of the new stuff, so I'm not going to say that it doesn't sound good or it doesn't sound the same or whatever, because that's not necessarily true. I think with modeling software, the thing that I always tried to do was mixed modeling with a live amping cab, and I don't think it meshed well. It just like sounded very disjointed and didn't work to me. But I think an entire track composed of just modeling amps or just live amps works really well, because even comparing different speakers in the mix, if you're not tweaking the microphones in the live room and getting the balance correct, it sounds disjointed in the track. If like you're going to mix a V30 and a Creamback, for example, it's still going to sound disjointed. Whereas if you take the time and you do it, you can get better results, which I'm guilty of as anybody. You try to like throw a couple mics on a cab and you try to get a good sound, and it just doesn't happen. Or you listen to playbacks and it just doesn't work. I think it's important to recognize that the technology has come a long way. It's probably not exactly the same, but I also feel like tube amps are kind of particular and they don't necessarily sound the same every day. And your ears don't process it exactly the same every day. Short answer, no, I don't use any guitar software. Again, that's just a personal preference. I don't think there's anything wrong with it by any means. Question 3, what are my thoughts on the Rat pedal? I don't really have a lot of thoughts. I think I used one way back. I just never really got into them. I have been intrigued by the Wampler Ratsbane pedal, and I thought maybe I'd check that out and maybe get an older Rat and compare them, which I believe your note actually suggested. That is something I've been thinking about doing. I just haven't done it. Time and like other gear that's rolled through here, it's a different thing. So the Rat is like a tube screamer to me, where there's been variations and there's been mods, and you know, the Ratsbane is supposed to integrate all those mods into like one pedal, and I just haven't checked it out, but I am interested in it. So maybe that is something we do in the future, but no, I don't currently own a Rat. I don't have the Ratsbane. I haven't compared them on my own time. That is probably something I will do in the future, just haven't gotten to it yet. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Many more videos to come. Don't miss one sub.